Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 48. Before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. So this episode picks up with Lacey and Shane, and Lacey is still in the ladies' restroom talking to John on the phone, and she lets us know that she's spoken with John a few times and that John has a girlfriend and that he is still fighting for sobriety. So I'm assuming that he may have fallen off the wagon once or twice since the last time we saw him on the show. She also mentions that John always puts drugs before her, and I'm thinking to myself, if you know that he always puts drugs before you and that you're not truly happy when you're with him, you're also not happy with Shane, you're complaining to John about your being so unhappy with Shane and how you didn't choose Shane over him, and asking John if you can come and see him in person, if you can have this conversation. Why are you doing this? You are the mother of 3 or 4 children. Lacey, you are not good for John. You are not good for Shane. They are not good for you. What you need to do is get help. Lacey needs to get some therapy and start focusing on nothing but these children. Repair your heart and focus on these children. Shane is talking to her dad, talking about how depressed he is. He feels worthless. Well, you know what? If you didn't spend 10 hours at the quote unquote gym and you were out there looking for a job, maybe you wouldn't feel so worthless. Shane, you're way over your head in this relationship, in this marriage. All of this back and forth, the both of them teeter and tottering back to John, back to Shane. Shane is cheating. John is doing the drugs. I have no idea what's wrong with all 3 of these people, but I can clearly see that they all need help. They all need to cut out the foolishness and start focusing on their mental health and these children, these beautiful children. Lacey really needs to be alone. She does not need to be with John or Shane. Shane needs to start focusing on his mental health and getting a job so that he could be a good father to his child. And John, just check yourself into a rehab. You have got to start also focusing on your sobriety and your mental health. None of these people are healthy individuals. It's really sad to see how this is working out for all of them. I mean, season 3 is my first season watching the show, so I don't know the whole backstory between John and Lacey and how she met Shane and all of this stuff, but I can see that these 3 people are not good for each other. Period. Dante, Nicole, and Tia. So this episode starts off with Nicole having her interview at the tanning salon. And she says that she doesn't think that this interview could have gone any better. And she is sure that she has got this in the bag. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm positive this interview could have gone a little better. I personally did not like the way she handled herself in this interview. But to be honest, she was being who she is. I personally think that if I was the owner of this salon, I would never hire her. Not because she's gone to jail, but just the way that she handled herself, the way she answered these questions. I wouldn't find, any qualities that I want this woman to work in my salon. I just wouldn't. When she tells her that she's got other candidates, I thought they couldn't possibly be worse than her. I absolutely do not think she's getting this job. But then she goes outside right after the interview. Yeah, no job having Tia is sitting outside. And she tells her, you're probably going to get the job and make $7.50 an hour. I wouldn't take it. Excuse me? $7.50 an hour is better than $0.00 an hour. Take what you can get. You have to start somewhere, building from there. Maybe if you take the job at the tanning salon making $7.50 an hour and prove yourself, you may get promoted. You may be able to go to another job and show that you worked at this tanning salon and did a good job and get a good reference from this woman. You have to start somewhere. She then mentions that Tia has been taken care of by her grandparents. And I said, you know what? I'm sorry that her grandparents are enabling her. Her grandparents should tell her, maybe you should apply at the tanning salon for $7.50 an hour. Get a job and stop being a bum. Okay, so anyway, I am getting rude. let me just move on. They bring up Dante. And Nicole is saying, well, you know, Dante always took care of me. He always buys me stuff. The only time she ever mentions missing him is when she's talking about the things that he bought her. How he was always taking care of her personal needs, her material needs. This disgusts me. It really does. But what really took me over the edge was Tia saying, go ahead, call him. So she's okay with Nicole hanging out and being with Dante as long as Dante is giving and supplying the both of them with money and material things. However, she makes this comment, but as long as you are mine, because I'm not going to let him take you. You know, he clearly thinks it's okay to buy and support a bad bitch. But my question is, who's the bad bitch? I don't see a bad bitch. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that I'm the baddest bitch in town, because I'm not. But Nicole is not the baddest bitch I've ever seen. I'm just saying.
Where I come from, bad bitches are independent. Bad bitches have their own jobs. They have their own homes, their own cars. I don't understand this. How does Nicole qualify?
Dante is absolutely crazy. I think that he is a lovely person. He really is, but he is out of his mind. I need his mom to show up and give him another one of those verbal slashings. Buddy, get your mind right. He needs therapy as well. Anyway, she calls him and he is over the moon. She's using you. Remember, buddy, you're the guy that has all the bill collectors calling because you used all of your money to take care of her. Stop playing. Stop playing.
I know it's been a minute.
It's been like 4 months, so what's up?
I think that we should meet up and talk about all of this in person. Like
No.
tomorrow or something.
Do not talk to her. Leave that bitch alone.
I mean,
For what?
meet up, what, like just me and you?
Yeah, I miss you.
It's nice to hear from you, actually. I'm interested to hear what you got to say.
I will text you the details.
Hey, why are you so damn stupid?
The last time I ignored an ex like that hurt me real bad, that I really love, she passed.
I know for 100%, as the sky is mother blue, he's gonna give her a chance. Like, that's just in him. He is the king of all simps.
Listen, I'm with his friend. I hate to use the word stupid, but Dante is stupid. He's very gullible. There is nothing good about this relationship. She is not giving you anything in return. And I repeat, she does not owe you sex. She does not owe you sex. Okay? If you want to be the idiots, you want to bounce around, you want to give her stuff, you want to buy her everything, you know, make her wildest dreams come true, great. Go ahead, do that. But she does not owe you sex. His friend was absolutely right when he said you are a good guy and there are girls who will date you without using you. There are women who would love to go out with you just for who you are, not for what you can give them. You are being an idiot. You know, he says the reason he wants to talk to her is because of what happened with his ex-girlfriend, Chelsea. Now, if you follow him on social media, you have heard the whole story. You know, he met Chelsea in jail. She got out. Things didn't quite work out. She ended up going back to jail. He started talking to Nicole. Chelsea wrote him several letters. They had several phone calls. In her last letter to him, she apologized for her behavior and she pretty much begged him to take her back. She let him know that Nicole was doing everything to him that he thought Chelsea was doing to him, or that Chelsea actually was doing to him, and she has learned her lesson, and she was just pretty much begging him for a second chance. He was too gung-ho about Nicole that he didn't really want to give Chelsea a second chance. Then something happened when she got out of jail shortly after she sent him that letter, and she ends up passing away from an overdose. And now he feels guilty about it because he thinks that if he had really given her a second chance, she would still be around. Personally, I don't think that. I do not think that he needs to carry this guilt. He really doesn't. Whatever was happening with Chelsea, I don't know if he could have fixed that. However, I think that he is making a huge mistake continuing to deal with Nicole. Dante, you are a simp. Just like your friend said, you are not responsible for Nicole's actions. You are not responsible for Chelsea's actions. You are only responsible for your own actions. And right now, you are setting yourself up to be made a fool of. You are the clown at this circus. Stop this. Then we go to Brittany and Ray. So Ray is excited. We see Ray at work. He's getting, he's working at this warehouse. He tells us that he's been working there for about a week and it's time for him to get his first paycheck. So I'm assuming that he gets paid weekly. He was a little shocked by his paycheck because he says that he worked 60 hours and he made $15 an hour. So 60 times 15 is $900. Then he lets us know that $400 was taken out for taxes, meaning that he made $500. So that would mean if he gets paid once a week and he gets 60 hours every week, that's about $2,000 a month after taxes. And he was very unhappy with this. Now, he's thinking about all of his bills and the restitution. So he's thinking, I am going to pay some bills and try to save as much as I can because I'm going to have to start making these restitution payments. We all know that he owes $143,000 for restitution. That is a lot of money. So while he's at work having lunch with his friend and talking about his bills, Brittany is out shopping with her sister, talking about how she's expecting Ray to spend his first check on her. She feels that he needs to start buying her stuff immediately. Ma'am, haven't we had these restitution conversations? I tell you what, at this point, I would expect for him to spend half of his check on his restitution and the other half of his check towards some kind of bills around the house. But every other payday, I would want one of his checks to go to that restitution. You want to get this paid off, especially considering that you keep on talking about this big ring that you want, these children, and you want to buy a new house, and you want to plan this fancy wedding. Are you kidding me? Off of $500 a week? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I really think that at least one or two of his checks every month needs to go towards the restitution. And the other two, you guys can figure out what to do with the other two payments of $500, but no, ma'am. Out here buying you new purses and taking you out to dinner every week and buying you flowers every week. Girl, grow all the way up. You are doing too much. So then when she gets home, Ray is in the kitchen making dinner, cutting onions the wrong way. Anyway, he's in there making dinner and I appreciate that. Then you see her come in. She's all excited about his new paycheck. And then you see her start trying to make salad, but I didn't see her wash her hands. I mean, maybe that got edited out, but don't just come home, sit down your bags from shopping in your purse and start touching the lettuce. No. Anyway, he's all down and out. He's very upset about these taxes being taken out. And it's just like his friend said, the more you make, the more they take. Welcome, sir. Welcome to being a grown-up. Sorry, life is different when you're actually a law-abiding citizen. You have to pay taxes. So when she gets home, he's all upset about these taxes. And, she tells him, don't be upset about this. It's okay. Then he shows her his check.
We all pay taxes.
What I'm gonna do with this? Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's still a paycheck. This is your paycheck. This is your taxes that you gotta pay the government.
This is the restitution right here.
What?
Wait, that's more. That's restitution. Hell, I'm gonna do with this. You talking about a family and all of this. What's wrong with you?
Now listen, his behavior was too much for me. First of all, why are you throwing this pasta in the trash? Aren't you making pasta for dinner? Is there another box in the cabinet? What is going on here? Second of all, don't be a big baby. Grow up, okay? This is what grown-ups do. Here in the United States, that's what you do. You pay taxes. None of us like it. None of us is happy about it. You work all week. You finally get paid, and then you see that half of your paycheck, well, at least 30%, has gone to federal taxes, Social Security, Medicare, all of that stuff. We're not happy about it, but it's how it is. And as long as you want to stay out of jail, that's the way it's going to have to be. Your only options are get a second job, which you don't want to do that, or look for another job making a little more money, or go back to the streets. And I'm telling you what, going back to the streets should never be an option. Pull yourself together, Ray. Stan and Lisa. So Stan's at home with the diarrhea, and Lisa's at the house taking care of him, getting him a little Pedialytes, They have adult Pedialyte now, so I'm not sure which one she was giving him. But I did not appreciate her opening it up with her mouth. Nasty. Ma'am, you're right in the kitchen. There's all kinds of knives and forks and scissors around. You don't have to open that up with your mouth. Ooh. Anyway, Stan thinks that her taking care of him means that she loves him. No, she just likes the money you give her, Stan. Oh, God, Stan is too much. Anyway, she decides that she wants to try on some of the clothes that she bought with Stan's credit card and show it off. In the meantime, Stan is getting text messages and phone calls from some girl that he met years ago named Tina. Now, personally, I think Tina is down on her luck, and she's probably trying to reach out to Stan to see if he'll give her a little money. So she comes down and she's showing off her new yoga pants. And he says, "You spent $90 on these pants?" And she says, "Oh, but they're so worth it." Girl, listen, those pants look just as good as the ones I bought at Walmart for $12.99. Quit playing with us, okay? You are not the $90 workout pants kind of gal. No, ma'am. Get a job. Then she tells Stan that she's going to need a couple more things. She's going to need a laptop and she's going to need some workout shoes. Now listen, Stan is not here for it. He says that he has already spent about $25,000 on her, and he just keeps giving and giving, and she's not strapping him up downstairs in that straitjacket enough. You know, Stan is not here for it.
I want you to better yourself, but I gotta also make sure that there's enough money that we live.
Now look, did you see the way she looked at him? She looked at him as if she's owed something. As if she's worked somewhere. As if she clocks in and out every day at a full-time job. Ma'am, hell no. Stan doesn't owe you crap. Oh, I cannot stand this con artist woman with these bad extensions. You are driving me crazy. He doesn't owe you crap. I can't stand Stan either, but still. So Stan's phone keeps ringing, them text messages keeps coming through and phone calls from Tina, and she gets upset. She tells Stan, "Answer it, call the number back. Who is this Tina?" So she storms off. She is ticked off. Stan tells her that he's not cheating on her. He's not doing anything. He hasn't, Tina's some girl he met 5 years ago. She runs upstairs to pack her trash bag. I said, now listen, you've been out spending the hell out of Stan's money and you never thought to buy a proper suitcase. You are still rolling around with a garbage bag. So you gonna storm out of here with one of his hefty bags. Girl, this is just garbage. I mean, what? So anyway, she comes downstairs and pretty much lays down the law with Stan.
Listen, I could go billionaires if I wanted to. I'm going to be crystal clear. You take at least 48 hours and think about this. Or when you call me, you say, "Hey, Lisa, you want to set a wedding date?" A $5,000 or $10,000 ring will suffice.
First of all, before she goes off on Stan, did anybody catch her saying that she could be with a billionaire if she wanted to? I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't know any billionaires willing to be bothered with the likes of you. A billionaire? Are you kidding me? No. You barely have Stan, and he's creepy as hell, okay? Then all of a sudden, she's asking about Stan setting a wedding date. Now, remember, you didn't want to get married to Stan. Not only that, you're married to 3 other people, possibly. You need $3,500 for an attorney so that you can figure out if you're still married or not. Now, all of a sudden, you see Tina is sniffing around. She's starting to think, I need to hold on to Stan before Tina comes and takes all the money. Stan's children must be absolutely out of their daggone minds with anger right now. This is the dumbest situation I've ever seen. And then her telling him a $5,000 or $10,000 ring will suffice. Girl, Stan needs to go over to the jewelry section at the Walmart and pick up a nice ring for $125, okay? $125, and that's too much. It really is. Girl, get the hell out of here, you and your trash bag. Then we go to John and Christiana. Now, everybody knows I really love Christiana. John, not so much. Now, I'm also going to have to say this. Christiana, I am not a big fan of those eyebrows. I'm not sure what's going on. I really need you to go back to your original eyebrows. You're doing too much. So we remember Christina on her first episode letting us know that she has a son named Devin. However, I have never seen the name Devin spelled quite like that. You know, D-E-V-I-N. Then there's people who spell it D-E-V-O-N, which to me, that's not Devin, that's Devon. And then you have her, which is D-E-T-H-A-N. That to me is not Devin. But, you know, it is what it is. So she says that her son has never seen her sober, and she hasn't really seen him or spoke to him too much in the last year. So she tells John that she's going to take a walk, and she gives her son a call. While she's talking to her son, he tells her that if she goes back to her old ways of using and going to jail again, that he will be very disappointed with her yet again. Then she tells him that she would like to ask him, you know, a very serious question.
I would like to invite you to my wedding with John.
We haven't really spent that much time together. I mean, since you've been out, I can't even remember the last time I seen you. It's kind of hard to just up and go to something big like that. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I just got to think about it.
Now, I can understand her being hurt. I really can. But I can also understand his side as well. You didn't raise him. You weren't a part of his life because you chose drugs and the streets. And I can understand him wanting to take some time to think this over. I can understand him being nervous and worried about accepting you fully into his life and then him losing you to drugs, the streets, or prison again. I would love to see her and her son reunite and heal, but it's just gonna take time. I think that she's absolutely right. He loves her. He wants her to be in his life, but he just needs a moment to trust her again. And I think that she's been doing great since she's got out this last time, but it's only been about a month. I think that when you have a history of this, it takes longer than a month to prove to people that you are going to be on the right path this time. Just take it one day at a time. And again, I'm wishing the best for Christina and her son. I want them to be together and happy and healthy. Marcelino and Brittany. So Brittany is at the house. Marcelino is there with the kids. He's paying some bills. Brittany tells him that her ex-girlfriend Amanda is stopping by. When Amanda gets there, they sit out by the pool and Brittany tells her the full story of how the 80 grand is missing. Nobody can find Robert. And, you know, Robert's got all this furniture over there that they have paid about $7,000 for. And she's tempted to go over there. And Amanda lets her know, with your past history with the police and being arrested and everything, it may not be a good idea for you to go over there. And I get it. I totally understand that you do not want to be in the situation where you were over there and you wild out on this dude and go back to jail. You've got 3 kids and a husband. No, ma'am. You have done a great job repairing your life. Don't do this. Out of the $80,000 that Robert has allegedly taken, $8,000 of it belongs to you and Marcelino, and you guys can, please, don't go to jail over $8,000. So as her friend is leaving, she messes up and drops a hint about Robert.
That Robert is on drugs and that he's locked her out of the bank accounts.
What's up with the money that I got invested? What's going on?
Money's gone, Marcelino.
Oh. How long have you known about this?
I've only known about it for a couple of days.
No.
I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to upset you and I didn't want to disappoint you.
How am I the last one to know?
I mean, I care about you.
Well, then we need to figure out how to make this right.
I feel like I failed you and our family. I feel like an idiot.
This feels like a failure.
Really?
Now listen, I think Marcelino was wrong for calling her a big fail. She was already sad as it is. She really was. However, like I said in my previous video, she should have told him as soon as she found out. What you do not want is for him to find out from somebody else, and you don't want to hold on to it because then the trust will be broken. He won't believe you. And that's exactly what happened. He says that he can't trust her now. And, you know, he's kind of angry with her, and I'm thinking, you can't really put all the blame on her, Marcelino. You knew who she was working with, and you also knew what she was doing with the money. So why didn't you investigate a little further? And don't put the whole blame on her. No, he leaves the house because he is very angry. He lets her know that that $8,000 could have been invested towards the children's future, which is true. But she was trying to do something good. It wasn't as if she took the $8,000 and went down to, you know, the Luxor casino and gambled it away. She didn't go buy drugs. She didn't go out and buy a new purse. You know, she was trying to do something good. She just should have done a little more research, and so should Marcelino. However, she should have told him the truth. As soon as she found out, she should have sat him down and said, this is what happened. Anyway, I'm wishing the best for them, and I'm pretty sure that he's gonna forgive her. I hope that they are able to recoup some of the money. I guess we'll find out more on next week's episode. And so you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.